All right, folks, it is July 21st, 2023, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Ripple's grand plan. Now, yesterday was the FedNow go live date. They flipped the switch, and we did not get rich. But if you understand the truth about FedNow going live, these systems getting updated, you understand that this is a process. We dropped the video yesterday, FedNow fake out, so that I could explain to everyone that we were set up for a little pullback, actually, and that the FedNow go live date was not going to send XRP's price to the moon. That doesn't mean we aren't going somewhere, though. Make sure you guys understand that, and we're going to explain that a little bit further in today's video. Ripple's grand plan. We're going to be talking about the Biden bribery bombshell to get started. And before we do that, let's take a look here at this crypto market at the time of this recording. About 6:45 a.m. on the West Coast, 29,853 for your Bitcoin, 1892 for your Ethereum, and XRP's at 77 cents. Taking a look here at the sticks for Bitcoin, you can see that this thing's been chopping sideways, consolidating, gone below my Bitcoin short a couple times here, and I'm waiting to take profit on that one here soon. So appreciate all of you guys for joining me this morning. Let's run it up here, guys. We're going to start with the current events, and we are talking about the Biden bribery bombshell. This is the document that got released, declassified yesterday, the FD 1023 form, alleging then Vice President Joe Biden was involved in a $5 million bribery scheme with a Burisma executive, has been released by Chuck Grassley. Now, this was conspiracy theory. This was crazy talk, right? And now we're starting to see the FBI files come out, the documents getting released. Mario Nafal summarizes right here. Biden $10 million Ukrainian bribe revealed. Explosive. FBI informant file reveals 10 million bribery allegation against Joe and Hunter Biden. The pair coerced Mykola, not even going to try it, a Ukrainian oligarch, into paying them. Now, this oligarch was the owner of the natural gas company Burisma Holdings. He told the FBI informant in 2016 while meeting at a coffee shop in Vienna that it cost $5 million to pay one Biden and $5 million to another. So let's summarize this. $5 million to the big guy, Joe, and another $5 million to Hunter to get the deal to go through. And this is not just the only allegation that the Biden crime family is facing. There are many more. And you guys know where I stand. I say, let all truth be revealed. Now, when it comes to that, we're not going to get to find out the truth in regards to Trump's classified documents case until May 20th, 24 is when we will be heading to a jury trial in the Trump classified documents case. Now, it's just interesting to me to watch this political theater back and forth, but then it also is sad to see that our country is such an embarrassment right now, especially with the Biden crime family in office. It's an absolute joke. And then you have the Trump, the Trump play taking place as well. And I know many folks say, stick to crypto. Well, you got to understand this. You got to be able to understand how they're putting all of this together, how they're going to play us next. And that's why we've been consistently ahead of the timeline for the last few years, is that we understand what their next move is. And so, the jury trial for Trump's case set next year, when we're going to get into the climax of the political run, 2024 election. We're going to be getting into the heat of the summer campaign season while Trump is standing trial. So, for me, it's seeing the fall of America in real time. This is the internal chaos within this country. And I want people to, not just enjoy the political theater or get upset by it, but understand how that we can position ourselves accordingly based off of these, actors and the roles that they are playing. Meanwhile, all this is taking place. Our country has racked up $32.6 trillion in national debt. So that ticked up pretty quick here recently. The most recent recording above 32 trillion, approaching that oh so special number, 33 trillion for our national debt. And remember that we have over 100 trillion in unfunded liabilities. So our country faces many issues, and the fact of the matter is that our current president has sold out our country, right, for millions of dollars, and that's all coming out in real time. And then we see that they're trying to go after, candidates in regards to Trump. And so this is the internal chaos that we talked about. We read the book Changing World Order by Ray Dalio. And that one really put it into perspective for us to understand that why the United States was going to be having internal chaos within the country, along with external chaos and conflict as well. That's what you're seeing. Biden just called up some reservists last week to send them off to Europe. Another $1 billion got sent to Ukraine on Monday or Tuesday of this week, right? And so they're literally gutting out our country and destroying it all by design. That's what's taking place in America right now, and we got to be ready for that. $33 trillion in national debt coming soon. Now, in regards to crypto, we did finally get Congress came together and they put out a little bill on digital assets. And the Wolf of Wall Street shares this. He says, to my understanding, unaccredited retail investors will be able to participate in private coin offerings with up to 10% of their annual income. Not bad. Now, this is the bill that just came out, and it looks like they're going to allow someone to, put 10% of the person's annual income or joint income with that of the person's spouse, or 10% of the person's net worth into an IPO or ICO, I should say. Now, this is interesting to me because we just saw in the Ripple case, right, that the judge ruled that the sales to institutions with the investment contract were a securities offering. So I'm interested to see how this is going to work out, if Congress wants to provide clarity in this regard. But then also, will this play an effect into a settlement coming for Ripple and the SEC on those institutional sales too, right? Because if Ripple's looking at this situation saying, hey, our Congress is about to pass a law that says any person, even unaccredited, could put 10% of their net worth or 10% of their annual income into an ICO, why are these sales to institutions a securities contract? But, I think that... Once again, I think that it's a joke that we're even, going to allow Congress to tell us how much we should be able to invest in an ICO. Not that I'm really interested in making an allocation towards many ICOs. There's not many cryptos I'm very interested in. I just have my few. But with that being said, I don't need the protection of the SEC. I don't need them to tell me that I can only put 10% of my income into an ICO. We shouldn't even have accreditation standards. I really don't think that we should. I don't think that it protects anybody, and this is about living free. In the land of the free here, we don't need anybody to tell us how much of your income you can invest in any investment. It's a joke. And then with the SEC, we've seen that they only show up to the crime of the scene after it's already been committed, and they actually help facilitate and allow the scams and the frauds to continue right underneath their nose, and then they come in after the fact and try to save the day. It's an absolute joke. But this is progress. I will note that. This is progress. We're finally getting some laws maybe on the books for digital assets in the United States, and so that's good, I guess. I just think that it's a joke that, okay, you little peasants, you guys can invest up to 10% of your annual income in an ICO. We should be able to invest in whatever we see fit, and that's the whole thing. And so, progress, yes. Protection from the government, no thanks, And so this is the fraud and the scam that I continue to talk about here. You see this, and it looks like it is coming down here, the end of the party coming for CZ, Justin Tron, and Tether. Not Tiger Global shares this. Lots of chatter regarding CZ, Justin Tron, and Tether over the last few days. It's over. I cannot stress this enough. Done. There are deep sources that have made it abundantly clear that CZ, Sun, and Tether are not protected. And I do think that this is, coming to an end for them. This is so out in the open. And it's almost like after the Binance lawsuit got dropped on them, they became even more blatant with what they were doing. Now, Justin Sun working hand in hand with them as well. Bitfinex shares this from Adam Cochran shared this original thread. Like WTF, Justin, just out in the open. He shares his address. They mint TUSD. And now this is one that we've been talking about here recently, guys. They created this new stablecoin, True USD. And they literally have just been facilitating, moving money around with this project on Binance and helping to facilitate their little schemes even further. So they mint 62 million TUSD, withdraw 50 million in USDT from Huobi, deposit 50 million USDT onto Bitfinex, burn 50 million TUSD, and then they deposit 50 million USDT and 12 million TUSD into Just Lend. So they continue to create new products, new scams, new stable coins, and they just keep it going, and they're out in the open with it right now. It's like they already know that they're being watched. So it's like, let's just full send, try to come out clean, and let's just take off and we'll be on the run. And hopefully we can run from the authorities forever. And I mean, this is the problem with the crypto space is we still have a lot of cleaning up to do. I know that we're excited in the XRP community. We're ready to move forward. We have clarity. That's fantastic. But there's still there's a dumpster fire that's taking place over here in the crypto space still. And you guys know who the actors are. CZ, Justin Tron, you got Tether in there as well. We reported how 21 people were arrested in China for $55 million worth of Tether money laundering. So it's still getting cracked down, and we just need to clean it up, and then the space can move forward with the regulations. We do love to see that. Now, yesterday we got the FedNow launch. Danielle DeNixon shares this with us. She says, FedNow's launch has received a lot of attention, especially from our industry. Is this the Fed's crypto killer, the beginning of a pathway towards a US CBDC? Are we all doomed? No. I think this is a net positive development for the industry. Here's why. On and off ramps, we talk about it a lot at Stellar, but on and off ramps are the key to real world utility. It doesn't matter how fast we can send or receive money on the blockchain if it still takes 3 to 5 business days to access your funds. By improving the last mile delivery of money in the US, we might be witnessing the dawn of a new era in payments that plays to the strengths of both blockchain and institutions, whether they realize it or not. Now, Danielle Dixon, CEO and Executive Director at the Stellar Development Foundation, they get it. They understand. And this is what this solves, right, is that last mile problem that, even David Schwartz and Ripple has talked about as well. And the real ability for digital assets like XRP to bridge these domestic payment rails is where it comes in, right? It's not a crypto killer. What it does is it creates a faster domestic payment rail. And then outside of that, you have institutions that are going to be tapped into RippleNet, that are going to be tapped into on-demand liquidity using XRP, and they'll be able to settle that up on the back end for their cross-border payments and for other, treasury flows and whatnot. So this is absolutely major. We see that once again, we have another partnership here, another one of these institutions in the FedNow organizations that is actually a Ripple partner. Caitlin Long had shared this thread. On the day FedNow is scheduled to launch, I noticed something interesting, shall we say. Among the list of banks and credit unions in the Fed authorized first group of participants is a fintech, and it's a European fintech, not even an American one. So I went digging, and she's talking about Adyen. And this guy says this: Adyen has collaborated with Ripple in the past. In 2017, Adyen became a founding member of RippleNet, and in 2018, it announced that it would be using Ripple's technology to power its cross-border payments. If Adyen uses FedNow, then they would transfer to Europe using ? Just saying. And so this is the point here, folks, is that FedNow is not meant to use XRP, but you have all of these fintechs, all of these banks, all these institutions that are tapped into RippleNet and on-demand liquidity on the back end. And now that we know that we have clarity in the United States, these institutions can actually start using ODL as well. But, FedNow was never meant to use XRP, but you look at all of these institutions that have started to use and embrace FedNow. Many of them are Ripple partners and have already started using RippleNet on the back end. And so this all ties back into Ripple's grand plan, as I titled this episode. And I'm going to play a little clip here from Chris Larson, and you guys can listen to him speak on their plan on replacing SWIFT and how to get all payment providers onto Interledger protocol and how to use XRP as on-demand liquidity. So, like you're saying, you get everyone tapped in, and it's what they did with RippleNet. You introduce them to RippleNet. They don't have to use XRP to be on RippleNet, right? So you get them on board, you kind of ease them in, right? You wine and dine them with RippleNet, and then you offer a solution that makes it even better, more efficient, cost-saving, and I really think that people are, forgetting and discounting the fact that many of these banks and institutions are going to add XRP to their balance sheet as a reserve holding as well. So let's listen in here on Chris Larson talking about their grand plan.
Rather than being an internet system. So we need that internet of value to be developed. And that's what we spend our time working on, is a replacement for SWIFT and correspondent banking. How do you get all of the payment providers, all of the wallets onto ILP? And then how do you use XRP as on-demand liquidity so that all of these providers don't have to keep balances all over the world because the process is so inefficient. We think that's the winning kind of killer app. And then I think last group talked about a Cambrian explosion.
Yeah.
Then you get that Cambrian explosion. rather than being an internet system. So we need
folks understand that,
internet.
right? He says then we get the Cambrian explosion. So this is what we needed. We needed this FedNow go live to update the domestic systems, solve that last mile problem like Donnell Dixon said. But on the back end, who are all these banks and institutions tapped into? That'd be RippleNet, that'd be XRP on-demand liquidity if they so please. Right. And they're not going to need to use XRP for everything. That was never the plan. But you get everybody tapped into Interledger Protocol through RippleNet. And then whenever they want, they can just flip that switch and they start settling in XRP. The fact that XRP is slated to be a reserve currency as well even bodes well for us, seeing that these institutions are going to be looking to load up XRP just to keep on their balance sheet, but then they're also going to be loading up XRP for their own automated market maker liquidity pools and for their own cross-border payment needs, treasury flows, treasury management. There's many use cases in utility that are coming to XRP as well. Like I said, AMMs, but then you also see NFTs, the tokenization of everything in this world. So it's about which blockchains are going to work, which companies can help facilitate that. We see many of these companies that have partnered up with Ripple are, many of these have already gotten their certification for FedNow. And so it's just unfortunate to see the narrative spread once again that FedNow is going to go live. This is going to be a flip of the switch date. And I dropped a video last night, and I said basically that we've been programmed in the XRP community to watch out for the next date, solve the next riddle, figure out the next decode. And now we no longer need to be doing that. Now, like, we're here, right? And now they just start flipping little switches one by one. And you have to understand, too, that these banks and institutions have been piloting and working with Ripple for years, right? That partnership with Adian goes back to 2017, 2018, right? Okay, and then you look at Bank of America, you look at all of them, right? Hundreds of banks and institutions that have already been working and testing and piloting. Now, we finally start to see FedNow is updating that domestic payment rail. We get Congress introducing legislation. And as I also stated yesterday, you effectively have XRP positioned to be the stablecoin, the store of value, and now we get utility and liquidity unlocked. And let me explain this real quick. So the stablecoin deal is XRP is a stablecoin effectively because your exposure to risk is only 3 to 5 seconds when you send a payment on XRP. So although the price is not stable, your payment, when you send money, the stability that you have and understand that you only are exposed to 3 to 5 seconds of currency exposure risk versus you send anything else, you're going to have more of exposure to that. Then the next thing is a store of value. Like I said, many of these institutions and banks, and myself included, have been adding XRP to their balance sheet as a reserve. Ripple said in 2017, simple goal of making XRP a world reserve digital currency. It's very simple. And then now we get to see utility unlocked, liquidity unlocked. It looks like they're about to pass through the automated market makers. And I know that people are very excited about this. Things are looking great for the XRP community. And so, like I said, I'm no longer looking for the next date. I'm no longer looking to solve another decode. I've done the decodes. I've done the riddles. I've applied all the secret sauce to my trading strategies, and that's worked for me. Not just solving a riddle to say, oh, I figured out a little riddle. No, actually making money off of it. I've applied that to my trading strategy, and that's worked. But now at this point in time, I don't care to debate who called what, who predicted that this was going to happen on this date. Who cares? Let's build something and make some money. You know what I'm saying? And then when XRP starts to go here, I think that a lot of people are going to get caught off guard by not having a plan for what to do with your XRP gains next. Now, we have some other exciting news to share, guys. So we reported, I think it was yesterday, that the COMEX vaults actually rose once again. And so over the past couple of weeks, we've seen a couple instances where the vaults actually rose by about 1 million. But then literally the next day, COMEX silver vaults drop 1.95 million ounces, just like a few days ago when they dropped 2.2 million ounces. So it's like literally they add 1 million, we drain 2. They add another 1 million, we drain another 2. It's like they can't even keep these things full. And then when you go and you look here on the gold in the Shanghai Futures Exchange, we beated a record high of 463 whatever that is, in the Chinese yuan, which is equal to $2,008 per ounce. So over there, we've been watching the Shanghai Futures Exchange. Their vaults have been getting drained And now we see that gold is trading at over $2,000 per ounce over there. And so the COMEX vaults for gold also got drained yesterday as well. So we're watching this one closely. As I always say, I think that we have a supply shock coming for the suppressed assets. That's gold, that's silver, that's XRP. And you might even want to take a look at XLM as well. That thing's been absolutely ripping too, which has been just a joy to see. So we're just getting started. Like I said, appreciate the community for hanging in there. But I see that folks are still trying to solve riddles and decodes. I'm like, man, we have clarity. We've entered a new reality. We don't need to figure out when the sun's going to come up next and what that means to us. We need to figure out what the hell are we going to do when XRP hits $5, $10, $20, however high you think it's going to go. What are you going to do with your XLM when it goes back to $1? I think the previous high for XLM was about $1. So, if we bust through that again, what are you going to do when XLM goes to $3 or $5, right? What are we going to do when XDC goes back to, 50 cents or $1 again, right? So this is what I'm focused on right now. We've been talking in our community about exit strategy reallocation. What do we move into next? And looking at what businesses can we start now so that when those gains come, we can just funnel that capital back in there. Same thing with the real estate. I just dropped another real estate update this week. Make sure you guys check out that one. And I hope you guys have a great, fantastic Friday. Okay, we're going to be watching this market here closely. Like I said, we're hovering right around my Bitcoin short. I'm still holding it. I've been in this short for like 2 weeks. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. But with all that being said, guys, have a fantastic weekend, okay? And I'll be dropping some more content this week, so make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you appreciate what we're doing, do me a big favor and smash that thumbs up for me. Everything can be found at my website, zachrector.com. And if you want to watch another video of mine, the link will be right here, okay? God bless.